Welcome back to Japala RC. This time we will be doing something pretty exciting. Well, at least I think so. We will be flashing this Eachine H8 microquad with the Acro firmware. You might be enjoying your current microcopter with the level control that it offers from the box, but you are not getting the full potential that this micro has. So let's find out what you need to get this done. Naturally, you will be needing the quad itself. On top of that, you will needing the ST-Link V2 programming link with cables and a Phillips head screwdriver. That's pretty much it. First, we need to unscrew all these 12 screws underneath the quad to gain access to the printed circuit board inside the quad and the 3 solder joints or pads that we need to solder our programming links to. After getting the covers of the quad, we gain access to the printed circuit board. It's pretty simple and it's pretty easy to work with, as the solder joints are far apart and easily marked. These are the 3 that we need. Next, we'll prep the programming link and the cables that came with it. Here I decided just to solder the wires directly to the printed circuit board. Initially I thought that I wouldn't want to reflash the firmware, just do the one-time install and that would be it. But later on I decided that I want to alter the PIDs, rates and stuff, so I ended up installing more permanent solution for that. But here we have this one-time installation that you can do if you want. Now that we have soldered everything, let's take a closer look on what you need to hook up on the programming link. From this diagram you'll see that it's pretty self-explanatory. On the programming link, the pins are marked as SW CLK, and that's a clock signal, and it's marked as CLK on H8. SWDIO is data input output pin, and it's marked as data on H8, and ground is ground, and that's everything you need to hook up. I'm not sure if you end up damaging anything if you mess up the wiring, but just make sure that every pin goes where it should be. Just take your time. And that's it. The hardware side is done. But, well, I decided to do it one more time to give it a permanent connector so I can reflash it as many times as I want, because changing PIDs and rates you need to reflash the whole firmware again. Now let's see what we need from the software side. This is the RcGroups page that contains good instructions. Well, all the instructions actually you need to do this mod. Just follow the links and get all the necessary software. There are actually 3 pieces that you need, and this first one is the actual ARM programming environment, the compiler that you need to compile and do the flash on the quad. So just follow the links and select the proper software to download, and it's the MDK core that we need. You need to give your information for the page. You don't need to register, but you get the link right away. Just enter something interesting there and you have the link for the installation. Next we'll download the drivers for the USB programming link, and this actually needs your registration, and it sends you an email that contains the actual download link. Pretty annoying, but well, the link arrives in a few minutes. So next we'll download the firmware itself, or the files that we'll use to compile it. I'm taking the dual mode firmware that contains both the level mode and the Acro mode, but you can take only the Acro mode version if you want. Just follow the links provided in that RcGroups forum, and here you can see some basic information from this firmware. And to get the file, just select the clone or download link and get the zip file from there. Just save it to your local directory. And now it's time to install some software. Start by unzipping those files and just delete them away, and start the installation procedure on the programming environment. It's pretty straightforward. Just select the file folder you want to do the installation to. Provide your, well, basic information there. We now have a working programming environment. Next we'll move on to the driver installation for the programming link. Again, it's pretty straightforward. Just select if you are using 32 or 64-bit system, and just fire away the installation and next, and you're ready. Finally, we can load up the project on the Keel programming environment. First, you want to go and check that the device selection is correct, so that we are flashing the right device, and this happens to be correct. Just make sure you are using the same device. Getting used to the interface, and here I'm doing the test build to see that the original source file works correctly. Okay, no errors, no warnings, and it's hunky-dory and okay. So now we can mod it away and hopefully not to break the code. There are a couple of things that I want to point out that I've learned from doing this. And first, if you're going to use a Taranis radio or Devo radio and not the original controller, you may want to use that, change that multiplier for high rates. For me at least, it was way too slow to respond. I want more rates for my own quad, and if I want to tame it down a bit, I want to do it from the radio. Just so you might want to ramp up that high rates from 2 to 3. Another thing that was quite confusing for me was that Taranis uses 3 auxiliary channels. You have channel 6, 9 and 10 that you can use to control, well, whatever you want to control it with, but you have to use those channel numbers from Taranis. I wanted to enable one interesting feature, and it's this lost quad feature, and this is how it works. As you can see and hear, it's pretty weak, and probably you shouldn't use it. And that it is, folks. Just save your file, build the target, and as you can see, yay, we don't have any errors here, so we didn't make any typos. So we can now hook up our quad to a computer. You need to provide power for the quad during the flashing procedure. Just hook up any 1S battery to your H8 and plug it into a USB port. And after that, you can use the erase function. You have to remove the old firmware first, and you only need to do this once. Just ignore this full chip erase, failed, it doesn't matter, and just flash your own custom firmware in. And it's successful if you get, well, anything near this nice looking light show.
Miksi et sä lennä parvekkeella?
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.